Okay, so very quickly, this is everything gotten from the second Altoona Curve game of the year. This time versus the Richmond Flying Squirrels on July 16th, 2022. And it is kind of funny how I have not gone to a repeat stadium this year until July 16th, until this game. And yet, it is a stadium that is normally out of my range. It is a stadium that is 4 hours away from where I live. But yet, this is the first repeat stadium of the year. So, anyway, I clearly don't have as much to show off as the first time because the first time was my very first time ever. So, there's a lot more stuff to get that I normally get on the first time. I guess I should show this. Even though I don't really need to, I'm not going to open it. I showed it last time. They give you a ton of these. We ended up with, like, no joke, 6 last time we went, and I got 1 this time that was handed to me. So I'm not going to open it. I already showed it in the last one. And same thing with the printed ticket, but it's not really something I open, so it's here. It's the same thing, just a little bit different, obviously with the date. Fireworks and Scout Night. Still the rail seats. Love the rail seats. And yeah, and program, I believe I haven't opened the program yet, but I believe it's going to be almost the same. Just, different roster, a little bit different, maybe some updated articles, I don't know. But before we do that, I'm just going to go with this. Because we're in Altoona, visited the actual curve. I know it's not really sports related, but it kind of is because that's what the Altoona Curve is named after. This giant railroad curve. And if you're watching this as the full highlight video, you did notice that I put footage of the curve in there. I included that in the entire video. Usually stuff that's not directly sports related I don't really film, but I figured this ties it all together, and it makes for a good kind of, not closing segment because this is the closing segment, but just something that ties into it, because that is a historical thing. That is what the team is named after. And in the museum, they did have a Starling Marte jersey. That was the first thing I noticed when I entered their actual museum section, was a baseball jersey, and the first thing I actually went to go look at. So anyway, yeah, this is just a little pamphlet there. Not too much to talk about. Just show the pretty pictures about it. And this is not, we didn't go to this, but this is what they call their sister location, the Railroad Museum, which is not far at all from the stadium. It is almost right next to the stadium, but we didn't go here. We went to the actual historical curve. We went up, you park over here, and you can't really tell from here, but this is a huge elevation, and there is a viewing area over here. We're over here in the corner so you could see it coming, and I took an almost 8-minute video of this huge train that just kept coming for 8 minutes. One continuous shot. Anyway, let's get on to the program. Curve Chronicle, they call it, Volume 23, Issue 8, July 12th through 17th, 2022. Connor Scott is on the front. He is the guy who hit the home run. Or not home run, the walk-off, I mean. He's the, and yes, it was just a fly ball, but it was a sac fly that got the guy in and won the game. The only run of the game. So Connor Scott is the reason why they won that game, and he's on the cover of this that week's program. So cool. And then you see Pittsburgh affiliate, social media, and yeah, and stuff about Richmond. Like I said, I haven't even looked at this. I'm very behind with. I try to look at my stuff before I go through it, but I'm just very behind right now, so I haven't even looked at this. We saw the Richmond roster back there. Here's the Altoona roster. Here is the stadium. Like I said, it's probably a lot of repeat stuff. Here is a more in-depth look at the rosters with write-outs of everyone, and probably the exact same thing. Probably when I do go through this, just reading it on my own, I'll probably skip over most of this because it's probably the same things I've already read. Probably twice, because if you remember, I also bought a media guide, of almost 200-page media guide, which I still have a lot to read, and that has a lot of the same information, although I read it still because it's more detailed than in the program, it being a media guide, so I read it anyway. But this is an exact copy, most of it. This article might be different, might be a new article. I hope that they have like new articles every week, but as far as the rosters and the descriptions of the players and stuff, it's all the same. Top 10 prospects, I don't know if that's changed at all. Affiliate update. Probably the A to Z of the ballpark has definitely probably not changed, because I think I read through some of it last time, and there was stuff that clearly hadn't been updated in a few years. It said, I don't remember the specifics, but I remember something along the lines of, as of 2017 season. It's like, that was 5 years ago. And history, I believe this is probably all the same too. Because, not much changes in their history in a single month. It could, but, not a lot. Here's your July schedule. And there's your mascots. There's the other months, rest of your promotional schedule. Events calendar at the field, not baseball related. And I guess the next time they're at home is in August against Akron, and there's your weekly promotions for that autograph section if you want, especially if you're on there a Sunday. I don't know if Altoona is one of the teams that has autographs every Sunday. I know some teams do, but if you're there on a Sunday, you need something to get signed, right here. And yeah, I've had players sign yearbooks and programs before because I haven't had anything else. And yeah, it's actually been a while also since I've had any autographed opportunities since COVID, but that's about to change soon in an upcoming video. But anyway, that is it for me. I don't really have much else. Also, I mentioned this before, not in this video, but in a previous video that I filmed. And actually, I think a video that's going to come out after this, honestly, so I'll just say it again right now. I'm trying to get the away team sets as well. I got Altoona already on the first trip, so that's in the first video. But Richmond, if they come out with a team set, I don't remember. I don't think I've actually checked, but if they have one, if they're going to come out with one for this year, because some teams for some reason don't. If they do have one, that'll probably be an add-on to this video if it's out and I have it by the time I'm ready to post this. So yeah, that is it for me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all later. Okay, one other thing to add on here for the Altoona stuff is these magnets, and where these came from. These two, first of all, are just ads. There's not really anything too spectacular about these, although this one does have the field in the background, so there's something. And actually this one does too. Okay, so they all have some sort of purpose, but those two are mainly ads, and this one has, Altoona Curve on it. But basically what this is that the way that they fill the beer at Altoona is they have a hole in the bottom and they fill it up, and then to seal it, the magnet goes on, and it sticks, obviously, because it's a magnet. So that's how the beer gets filled and stays in there, and then obviously when you're done with it, you can save the magnet. So that's how that happened. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That should be the last of it. Thanks for watching. Okay, a little add-on, something that I didn't have before that now I have, is the Richmond Flying Squirrels 2022 team set. So we are going to add on to this outro here, and obviously this was bought online from Richmond. Obviously most teams don't sell their competitors' cards, so here we go. Let's just get into it. First we have Brett Auerbach. Okay, just like this. There we go. Will Wilson. It's going to be one of those. Jacob Hayward. Shane Matheny. Diego Rincones. Simon Whiteman, Frankie Tostado, Tyler Schimpf, Tyler Fitzgerald, Mike Gigliotti, Frank Rubio, Brandon Martirano, Armani Smith, Matt Frisbee, Ryan Walker, Robert Emery, Brian Brickhouse, K-Wei Tang, Solomon Bates, RJ Dobovich, Sean Roby, Trenton Toplikar, Tristan Beck, Travis Perry, Gary Fenter, Franklin Labor, John Russell, Taylor Rashi, Jake Dahlberg, Chris Wright, Blake Rivera, Kyle Harrison. Now we're getting on to the coaching staff. Dennis Pelfrey is the manager. Danny Smith is the hitting coach. Paul Oseguera is the pitching coach. Gary Davenport is the fundamentals coach. Chris Walsh is the athletic trainer. And Matt Jordan is the strength and conditioning coach. And mascot, you have Nutsy. There he is. Okay, so that is pretty much it. We've made a mess of a pile here. That should be it now for this video. This is so much of a mess, I can't even try to organize it like I normally can. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.